What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA playoffs. Wednesday, June 30th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an NBA showdown between the Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. So let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Chris Paul from the Phoenix Suns playing the LA Clippers. Chris Paul has averaged 37.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 31 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. He scored 36, 32, and 42 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 35, 37, and 38 minutes. He's projected at 41.1 fantasy points here tonight, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 215 points scored in this game. So I like Chris Paul here versus the LA Clippers. The other point guard that I like is Reggie Jackson from the LA Clippers, and he scored 36, 27, and 34 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 38, 40, and 32 minutes. He's projected at 34 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Reggie Jackson here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like Paul George from the LA Clippers. He averaged 40.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 30% usage rate. He scored 69, 52, and 54 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 40, 41, and 42 minutes. He's projected at 55 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Paul George here versus the Phoenix Suns. The other shooting guard that I like is Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns, and he averaged 37.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 33% usage rate. He scored 43, 28, and 28 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 43, 38, and 40 minutes. He's projected at 40.8 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Devin Booker here versus the LA Clippers. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Mikal Bridges from the Phoenix Suns. He averaged 26.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 15% usage rate. He scored 9, 31, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 27, 39, and 26 minutes. He's projected at 26.6 minutes here. He's projected at 26.6 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Mikal Bridges as a high-risk, high-reward play here versus the LA Clippers. Okay, another small forward that I like. Now, this is a high-risk, high-reward play. He's super low salary. He's been playing a bunch of minutes, and he had a good game last game. So take a look at Cameron Johnson from the Phoenix Suns. He's averaged 17.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 24 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. But he scored 25, 10, and 19 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 23, 17, and 30 minutes. He's projected at 20 fantasy points here tonight. So you know what? I think I would rather play Cameron Johnson over Mikal Bridges just because you're going to save a bunch of salary with this pick. Now, it is a little bit more of a risky pick. Mikal Bridges is like a hit or miss player. He's either going to make or break your lineup. But I think I would take the salary savings here for Cameron Johnson so I could stack those studs into the other spots. So I like Cameron Johnson here versus the LA Clippers. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. Here's another low salary play for you. This is another risky play. He hasn't really played well at all throughout the playoffs, but he is playing a bunch of minutes, and he is capable of scoring 30 plus fantasy points when he gets going. So take a look at Jay Crowder from the Phoenix Suns. He averaged 21.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 27 minutes per game with a 16% usage rate. He scored 17, 14, and 15 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 27, 34, and 28 minutes. He's projected at 23 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Jay Crowder here versus the LA Clippers. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like DeAndre Ayton from the Phoenix Suns. He averaged 33.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 31 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He scored 29, 62, and 38 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 36, 41, and 35 minutes. He's projected at 36 fantasy points here tonight, so I like DeAndre Ayton here versus the LA Clippers. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to DraftDashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.